I don't even know what to say about it, so you know what? We're not even going to say anything about it. We're just going to do testing. Apparently, our flame characteristics of our candles are undesirable for Peggy. And she says she's a long-time customer in her review. And I guess, despite being a long-time customer, she's unhappy. I don't know. Anyway, she says the flame is psycho, which I don't know what that means. I guess that means the flame is all over the place. So, you know what I like to do is do wick testing. But you notice that everything was cool a little while ago, and then all of a sudden, everything is not cool anymore. So, these reviews definitely come in flurries. But that's okay. It's a good opportunity to show some DIY oil candle making. So what we're doing here, I'm just quickly filling up a couple of bottles with some gravel. Why am I doing that? Because I don't want to use a lot of fuel, because Wick can pull only a few inches of fuel, so a lot of the DIY candles you may make, you need to have completely full to the top. A half-inch fiberglass wick will pull fuel about 6 inches, so if your fuel drops below about here, and that's a half-inch wick, you will start to have issues pulling fuel. So I'm going to do a couple things with the gravel. We are displacing what would normally have to be a lot of fuel, and we also make it a little heavier bottle, little less likely to tip, hopefully. So we're going to do the testing indoors today because the whole point of the test is, what does the flame look like? And apparently our flame characteristics are not very good. So make sure the shot is okay. We're going to be using a fantastic fuel. I really like this company. This is Ner Mitzvah pure paraffin lamp oil. It says pure paraffin lamp oil for indoor use, smokeless and odorless. And I would describe the only odor from the fuel to kind of be like a burning candle. Would be the best way I would describe it. So, what are my testing apparatus going to be? The complaint this time was my 1/8 fiberglass wick, and the complaint is that the flame is psycho and does not settle down. So I guess some people would say that's the whole point, is you want to look at the fire and see the fire all over the place, but let's see. I don't really know how you test to make sure your flame is not psycho or not. But Peggy, we're going to work hard for you, right? Because you bought a bunch of my wick and then left a 1-star. So, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to trim that because I don't need nearly that much wick. So, since I'm only going to be having a little bit of fuel in this one, we will have just a little bit of wick. So, first thing I want to do is pour some fuel, and I'm going to use these handy HDPE 4-ounce bottles that I sell. Have a real nice little spout. Make it real easy to very carefully and very exactly get the fuel in there. So this is Ner Mitzvah pure paraffin lamp oil is what we're using. So you'll see that because I used all of the gravel displaced. Always make sure you dry your hands. And then here again, this is purely for testing purposes. I'm not recommending that you make these. I recommend that you buy professionally made lamps. I have 2 fire extinguishers just off camera. And I think we're only going to light one of these at a time. So here is my thermal glass wick tube, and that carries a 1/8. So the tube itself is 1/4 inch, has a little glass washer, and then it's kind of flared out here to kind of make it much easier to put wick inside. So show for each. We are going to have just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of wick showing like that. We're going to start out like that. So we're going to start out with just a little bit of wick showing and see what the flame looks like. And see if our flame is psycho, as Peggy says. I don't even know what to make of that statement. But anyway, it is what it is, and so we're just going to do some testing. That's funny, I think I put a little too much gravel in here. It's not going to seat quite perfectly, but so the last thing I'm going to do, so what have I done? I put completely dry wick inside of here. So if you just into the fluid and you have a gap between the fluid and the top, there's a chance, especially the more inches that you have, that you're not going to have what I would call capillary action develop properly. You could have dry spots inside of the wick. Now it's probably already perfectly fine. You could do a couple of things. You could kind of shake it around, kind of hold the holder, shake it. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put just a couple drops down the top. There we go. And then I'm going to set that over here. I'm going to push my fuel well away from my flame source. I'm going to dry my hands. I'm going to also, so this doesn't have any fuel, let's see. I'm also going to dry my bottle. I'm going to dry under it just in case. So everything is dry before I light this. I have a nice metal tray set out. Put this right in the center. And then we'll probably make another lamp, but we're just going to give this one a test. Make sure you can actually see. And again, let's go over some safety stuff before we light any fire. You must not let your kids or pets near any fire. You must always have 2 fire extinguishers at the ready. I've got 2 right off camera. And never light any fire if you have been drinking or consuming drugs. It's a recipe for disaster. So let's see what's going to happen. So I have the wick really in there. Let me turn off. I have an overhead ceiling fan going, which is making my wick go sideways. So we are going to try to let the air go as still as possible and see what happens with my flame. The ceiling fan is still going. So we need to let all of the air currents in the room settle down. That's out of the way. We are using a fantastic fuel here. This is Ner Mitzvah pure paraffin lamp oil. Very, very much like this fuel. This is meant for indoor use. I don't know, that flame is very calm, Peggy. So, yeah, it's settled to a very consistent, let me make sure I'm not breathing on it. Any sort of air currents in your room will make your flame move. It's kind of a thing, Yeah, I don't know what to say about that review. So Peggy says she has a granite oil candle company. And Peggy, by saying she has a granite oil candle company, is saying she is an expert and she knows everything there is to say about oil lamps, because if I manufactured granite oil lamps all day long, I should know a lot about making fuel, oil candles. So I don't know, the flame is very subdued. Even with me speaking a few feet away from the flame, it is still going pretty much straight up. And it's not sputtering. It's approximately the same size. You know what will happen is as it gets warmer and warmer and warmer, it will make more candle height because it is evaporating more efficiently. So this is pretty nice candle size. Very good wicking, very efficient. I would not describe this flame as psycho. Just got a 1-star today from Peggy, who says she has a granite candle company and has purchased my items in the past, is what it sounds like from the review, and purchased them again. And I don't know if she's implying the quality of my product has gone downhill, but that looks like a pretty steady, nice flame. So I will be contacting Amazon, because Amazon is aware that I'm currently undergoing a little bit of a 1-star review attack. And we'll kind of add this to what's been going on. Kind of weird. So I don't know what to say. We got another 1-star. It doesn't say it won't stay lit. It says the flame is psycho, which I don't know what that even means. I guess that implies that the flame is all over the place and sputters and is not consistent. And Peggy says she will not be purchasing my product again because it is a psycho flame, which is, I don't even know what to say about that kind of a description. So we're just going to let this go a little bit longer. I don't even know if I don't even need to make the other oil lamp. I mean, it's kind of just self-explanatory. It makes a beautiful flame. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. So we'll let this run for a few more minutes. And maybe I'll go ahead and email Peggy the link to this video and ask her what exactly she is talking about, because at a certain point this gets a little bit upsetting, because I have a family and I feed my family from the proceeds from my Wick sales. And when you leave 1-stars that are kind of baseless, you're kind of taking food out of my family's mouth, which is a little upsetting. So anyway, we'll just put that out there, Peggy. We're going to let this run for a little bit longer to show that my flame, if anything, I think the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to get a little bit taller, because what are you doing? You're heating up the bottle, you're heating up my metal washer, you're heating up the glass, so you're making the fuel evaporate that much more efficiently. So if you remember from before I lit it, it had almost zero wick exposed. So I think at this point we'll let it run for another minute, and then I'm going to blow it out and then show everybody again just how little a wick is showing. And I think we're even going to try pushing the wick literally below the level of the glass holder. That's how efficient my wick is there's literally no wick showing above the height of the glass, and it's making this beautiful steady flame. So I don't know what to say, Peggy. That's a very strange review on your part. And you've given a 1-star against my product, which makes it look like my product is terrible, which is not very nice, because I think my product is fantastic. My 1/8 fiberglass wick is made in the USA. Made in the USA. Good product. I don't want to get too close to it, because, you know, if I blow on this or I breathe on it or if I wave my hands, I will disturb the air around the flame and it will move. It is fire, and if you have an air current in your room or outside, the flame will move. Full disclosure, the flame is going to move if there's a little bit of air going. So we're going to blow this out. That is going to make the flame move. Look, even moving my hands near the flame, it is now going a little movement. That's going to happen. It's perfectly normal. It didn't even want to blow out. It's so good. Okay. Let's bring this around for the folks on Amazon Live. Let's get the first look here, and then we'll go over to YouTube. So what do I want you to see? I hope you can see. I don't know how good the focus is here. There is just a few bits of thread of fiber showing. Let's go over to YouTube. I don't know if you can see this in focus or not. Will that help it focus? I don't know. Anyway, there is hardly any wick showing above. What are we going to do? We're going to make it go inside a little further to make the flame even smaller, because the more wick you have showing, the bigger the flame. So there we go. Let's see. I don't even know if we'll be able to get a flame out of that, because it is literally now below the height of the glass. Below the height of the glass. Let's see what's going to happen. It might not light. I might need to show a little bit of wick. But we don't pull any punches. It's all live. Hey, so that is with the flame. The wick is about 1 millimeter below the height of the glass. That is probably not enough wick showing. So what we'll probably do is let that go for a second to see if the extra evaporation will make the flame just right. That is kind of a very tiny candle-sized flame. So the wick is literally below the surface of, so it's inside of the glass holder, and then it's producing that size of flame. Let's show YouTube. So let's put this back. And you see, as it warms up, the flame grows because it evaporates more. You know what? I think we're going to be able to run it with the wick actually. It's about the height of the washer inside of there. I really shoved it inside of there. It's almost too far. So I would say the wick height there is about -1 millimeter, almost -2 millimeters inside of a glass holder, about the height of the washer, producing a very small candle flame. And again, perfectly controlled. It's not moving. As long as you don't move it or blow on it or talk to it or wave your hands around it, the flame is perfectly stable. It's not sputtering. It's not smoking, because I'm using this high quality Ner Mitzvah pure paraffin lamp oil. Let's give a shot over there. This is good stuff. I really recommend Ner Mitzvah pure paraffin lamp oil, a high quality fuel, no smoke. So look how controlled that flame is. It is not sputtering. And it's just, the only thing it's doing is growing as it warms up and there's more evaporation. We literally have the wick 2 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters below the height of the top of the glass, and we're producing a candle-sized flame that is perfectly controlled and completely contrary to the 1-star review that you see as the thumbnail for this video. Peggy, I'm going to be sending this to you and asking you to change your review based on my testing. I don't know what you're doing. You have a granite candle company, and I'm going to assume you are an expert far in excess of my skills. I'm just an amateur. Clearly, very amateurish. But what am I demonstrating? You saw the 1-star review, and then you see the product. So, anyway, not cool. So I will be contacting Amazon seller support and add this to the list of 1-stars that we've gotten. It's about 4 1-star reviews in the past 2 weeks. All of them very strange. Each one stranger than the last. So, anyway, we've been going about 20 minutes almost here. And you can see how controlled this flame is. It's hardly varying at all. That's how perfect a product this is. So I have, if you actually look at this 1/8, the 1/8 5-foot, it has somewhere around 40 or 50 reviews. I don't know. Been selling it for a couple years, sells very consistently, many per month, and I only have 40 or 50 reviews, and it's been up for a couple years. Other products have thousands of reviews. All of them 5-star, just about. Very interesting. So, we're going to let this run a little bit longer. I don't know what else there is to say. A customer named Peggy. So I looked up the order. I sent Amazon has a clever little thing they let you do. They'll let you reply to the customer, and then that brings up the order number. And so I could see Peggy, and you click the order number, and it shows you the history of that customer. And if you read her review, it says that she's purchased from me in the past, but when I look at her history, I only see one order. And it's kind of a weird order. She placed an order for 20 1/8 5-foot pieces, returned 2 of them, and left me a 1-star, saying that she had purchased from me in the past, but was that on a different Amazon account? I don't really know what to say about it. I sent her a message asking about the discrepancy because she said she'd been a long-time customer of me, but I could only see that one purchase from her just recently. So she made the purchase in June, waited until August to leave the review, but kept 18 of them, and says the flame, the product, is poor. She can't purchase from me again because of the quality of the product, and describes the flame as psycho, and it never goes to a relaxing, consistent level. So I don't know what you would describe as a relaxing, consistent level, but I've shown you 2 different flame heights now over an extended period of time. So the height of your wick above your holder, since I have all of these, let's go ahead and use this as another opportunity. I'm trying to go ahead and thread these for the customers now, but just in case I'm really busy and I'm not able to, so we'll do this for each. There's a little kind of a V-shaped taper at the end. So what I will do, you see how this end is a mess? Let me show that. This end is kind of a mess and all frayed, and this end is nice and cut. This end right here is nice and cut. So what I'll do this for each live stream. I'll put as much as I can into the cone, and I just kind of push while I twist, and you see it's already through, and I'm going to pull that through, and what was a tremendous mess and looks like you're going to have to waste all of that wick, watch what happens as it goes into the cone. It gets perfectly collected like that. So let's go ahead and we'll do that for YouTube, because we're running dual live streams. That's how we do it now. So you see the cone-shaped part of the wick holder? I'm going to collect the cleanest part. Now you might have to, what happens with this wick is it frays out. It makes a very nice V-shaped wick flame front. I just made that up. Okay, so we are going to push that into the cone. Twist, twist, twist. Push and twist, push and twist, push and twist. And counterintuitively, the part that you want to be the tip is going to be the part that's going to be the bottom. So you got that through, and you see how it's starting to get a little bit frayed. I probably wouldn't be able to pull that through again, but I pull that through. What normally looks like a big mess goes down to a nice collected something that you could use as a candle. So sorry about the focusing. I'm using rather poor camera equipment here. So anyway, it's a good opportunity. So just when I started the first one, I had a little bit of wick showing, about that much. Hope this focuses. I had a little bit of wick showing the first time, about that much right there, and it made a flame about that big. I would call it a good 3/4 of an inch of flame. It's about that tall, if you remember the very beginning of the video. And so right now, it is running with the wick basically inside of the height about where the glass washer is. So let's show that over. I've got 2 live streams going, so I want to make sure I can include everybody. So it's August 3rd. This is live content. This is not pre-recorded. This is in response to our latest 1-star, which says our flame is very erratic and not consistent, and as described by Peggy, a psycho flame, which I don't even know what to say about that and what that means. But anyway, so the wick is down about right here, right now. So it is literally below the height of the top, and it's inside of the holder, and it's producing a beautiful, nice subdued flame. So what are we going to try to do? I think we will blow this out. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's any way. It's probably nice and warm. So what would you not want to do? Let's go over some more safety stuff. The top of the glass bottle is going to be hot. These washers are going to be super, super hot. Don't touch the washers. Let them cool down for quite a while. The glass holder is going to be super, super, super hot. Don't touch it. Let it cool. Don't touch it. So I was thinking about just blowing it out because that flame is kind of a nice, small, subdued flame right here. It is, oh, I would call it a candle. Look, I moved it, it shook around, and it immediately went back to a very controlled flame. So this is in response to customer Peggy, who apparently owns a granite, I'm going to say it must be a rock oil candle company, who says that my wick is inferior, poor, and she cannot order it anymore. So it's almost a half hour. I think we've done about enough here. We'll let it go to about a half hour. Just to show I don't pull any punches, we're running live on Amazon Live, and we're running live on YouTube Live. And you can go to Dan the Man DIY all day on YouTube and watch the video after it has been uploaded. So it is a live stream right now, and it'll become a video that you can watch again. This video can also be watched on Amazon Live as a previously live video. We are Tuesday, August 3rd, I believe. It's Tuesday. I think it's August 3rd. We're live. This is not pre-recorded content. As you can see, this video is completely unique from the other videos. So we are testing the quality of our flame. So normally I do my testing outdoors. I'm using an indoor lamp oil. This is Ner Mitzvah pure paraffin lamp oil, a very high quality product. I don't smell anything. There's no smoke. No visible smoke from this whatsoever. Perfect burning. My wick is perfect burning. The fuel is perfect burning. Incredible. Beautiful. Couldn't be better. So, we're going to wrap it up in a minute here, but I wanted to... I don't really know what else to do about these 1-stars because, you know, anybody can write anything they want about you. It's really kind of silly that there's no recourse in Amazon for me to defend myself, except for doing live stream videos, I guess, or uploading videos in response to the 1-stars. So I think maybe what I will do, I've started doing research about all the companies that offer the services of fake. If you go on any search engine and type in buy verified 5-star Amazon reviews, within 15 minutes, I was able to do screenshots for 15 different companies that offer the service of fake reviews. All of them just mentioning 5-star. I should do a search for if companies are advertising they will leave 1-stars for your competitors. So I'm pretty sure all the companies that offer the service to have a 5-star probably also offer the service to do 1-stars against your competition. So the good news is the price of these fake reviews has gone up because of inflation. So that's the good news. When I had a string of 1-star reviews and I started looking into the fake review industry, they were about $10 a piece, plus the cost of the item. Now it's up to around $25 or $30. So I have that going for me. It's much more expensive for my competition to buy 1-stars. So I don't know if Peggy's a real customer or not. Peggy says the flame is all over the place. The very beginning of Peggy's review says she has a granite rock, I guess it would be an oil, what do they call them? It's a rock candle, right? I think that's the term. They use something like it's called like a rock candle, and you basically drill a hole in a piece of granite or some other marble, very nice stone, and you turn it into an oil lamp. And so by saying that she has that company, she is basically telling me she is an expert, and she knows much more about how to make oil lamps than I do because I'm an amateur. This is what I make. I don't make beautiful stuff. I make simple stuff. But she says that the flame never settles down. It's all over the place, and as she describes it, it is psycho, which is a not very nice term, and I don't think you're supposed to use a term like that even. So anyway, she uses an interesting term to describe the quality of the flame, but you've seen a half hour now of a very controlled, very subdued flame. Really nice. I'm almost now tempted to blow it out, advance the wick. let's go ahead and do that. You know what I think I'll do is I will grab some gloves. We'll let that cool down for a second. Now it's making a little bit of smoke, so I'll grab some silicone gloves and I'll literally just shove the wick up a little bit. It should be fine. Alright, even better, you know what, we're going to keep it simple. I'm going to make a paper towel hot mitt. So, this was just on fire. The top is going to be very hot. These washers are going to be super hot. The glass is going to be absolutely molten. So what am I doing? I'm using something to keep myself between, you know what, we're going to pull this up a little bit. And I'm going to use a bamboo skewer so I don't have to touch anything with my bare hands. And that will even through. I have this paper towel folded over a ton of times. I can feel the heat on that, so you need to be careful. You know, maybe we'll go a little bit more because I want to show we had an itsy bitsy flame because the candle wick was way inside of there. So now if I, I'm just going to go ahead and push it up. Okay. And now what do we need to do? We need to find a washer. And I think I figured out we can just get away. This is now a new clean washer that's not hot. Wow, that's amazing that was working. We actually used up the little fuel that was in the neck there. So we are going to top off the fuel a little bit. What are we going to do? We are going to transfer this over to our filling tray. What do I not want? I don't want a bunch of spilt fuel where I'm going to be having my fire. I'm going to go ahead and I actually have too much probably showing now. That back in a little bit. Go ahead and put a couple of drops on the top. Close that down. Now we're going to use the same paper towel that we're using as a hot mitt, and we're going to dry all of our fuel. We're going to dry all of our spilled fuel because we don't want any spilled fuel around the edge of the bottle. You don't want any down here. Alright, let's go for it. Let's go back and go over our safety tips again. You never light a fire around children or around pets. You never leave a fire unattended. You always have 2 of these. To tell you, I'm not just joking. I have 2 of these right off camera. Because you always need to be safe. There is no such thing as a safe fire. So you always need to take precautions. Do not try this at home. I got a 1-star review, so I need to defend the company because I have a family to feed. And when people make any old statement that they want to against your company on Amazon, and it only costs a couple dollars to do so, you need to defend the company. So I have a lot of wick showing here because I wanted to have a big fire for this one. So we're going to close out the live stream with a nice big flame. We're going to see if this is wild flame that goes all over the place. Is it an uncontrolled flame that burns erratically and all over the place? The only reason it is so tall now, so you saw we started out with a medium-sized flame. The medium-sized flame had a little bit of wick showing. The first one we started had a little bit of wick showing. Then we went to a small flame, a little itty-bitty candle with, how do we accomplish that? We put the wick inside, down around the level of the washer. So the second flame you were watching had the wick height was down around the washer. This is a very big flame. How did I accomplish a big flame? I had about 1/4 inch of wick showing. So what you're looking at now has about that much wick showing, and that produces a big flame. So you can fully adjust the flame height and the quality and characteristics of the flame by adjusting the wick height. So what is going to happen over time is the flame will get slightly larger because everything is warming up right now. As everything warms up, it becomes more efficient at evaporating fuel and making more flame. However, it is not sputtering. It is not all over the place. And it is not, as Peggy described it, psycho. So, Peggy, I will be sending you another message saying with the link to this now 35-minute live stream of my flame being very steady. Peggy claims to have a professional company that makes rock candles. So I'm going to assume that she knows a whole lot more about making oil lamps than I do, because I just do this for fun, just to prove that my product works. So you can see, except for me speaking a few feet away from the flame, it does not move at all because we're in a perfectly still room with no wind whatsoever. To set your expectations properly, if there is wind, your flame will move. It will be all over the place, and I guess Peggy likes a nice steady flame, which, Peggy, that is a nice steady flame. I don't know. I'm going to have to bring this up with Amazon, all these fake reviews. So let's say that was too much. You're like, damn, that is too much fire. We liked the medium. We liked the medium fire much better. What do? We have a lot of wick showing. See, there's a lot of wick showing. About 1/4 inch. About 1/4 inch showing. So I'm using an implement so I don't burn myself, because you will burn yourself terribly if you touch this. So we're just going to kind of shove it in there a little bit more. And let's see what the flame height looks like right now. Over. So you can see, still a pretty impressive flame. Mostly because I still have about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more. I think I need to shove it in a little bit more to bring the flame down. It is so efficient. It makes an enormous flame with no wick showing, basically. You'd be amazed how little wick that is showing. Okay. Use my handy dandy hot mitt. Okay, that looks better. Pardon me. Alright, I think we're going to end it very shortly. So, we have shown my flame characteristics are rock steady, perfect flame, perfect evaporation. I don't know what the 1-star from Peggy is all about. It's very strange. She implies that she has a company that makes oil lamps, and so she should know very much how oil lamp candles should work. It's very strange. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much to my real customers. I really appreciate it. Somehow you've still kept me in business despite all of these 1-stars. So this is 1-star on my 1/8 fiberglass wick made in the USA. You can see how well it's been performing. So yeah, I don't know what to say. If you want a smaller flame, you shove the wick further into the holder is the solution. So, but it's not sputtering. It's very nice, subdued. I would call this relaxing. A very relaxing flame. You're very, very sleepy. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So we'll just keep on doing these. I don't know what else to say about the 1-stars except to show on live video streams that everything works great. The flame is rock steady. Yeah, I think we're going to have to really... My wick is so efficient, it literally has almost no wick showing. It is inside. Okay. So to make the flame super small, I literally have to shove the wick down inside of the height of the cone, down around the height of the washer, literally below the level of the wick holder. So let's see if it'll even light with no wick showing whatsoever. We might have a problem. We might need to advance some wick. Yes, we need more wick. There's no wick. No, there's actually a flame though. Let me blow that out. I don't even think you can see that. Let's let it grow. It did have a flame. I couldn't see it. So I shoved it in too far. It is probably now below the level of the washer almost, but you can see there's flame. We have flame with no wick showing. There's flame. The flame. The flame. Look, boss, the flame. Okay. It's a very, very, very tiny, it's literally almost as small as you could have fire and still have fire. What are we going to do? We're going to put a little more wick up. That's hilarious. I couldn't even see that there was fire. So now everything is hot. You can't touch it with your hands at all or you will get burnt, so you need to have a hot mitt of some sort. I recommend gloves. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pull this up and through the bottom. Push and twist. Push and twist. Let's see. So we have advanced the wick again. Let's see what it looks like. Probably have too much showing again. But we'll give it a shot. Let's see what that looks like. So you can adjust the flame height by adjusting the wick height. So this is making an incredible flame because I have flared it out. Let's blow it out. So what happened there when I shoved that in, it flared out into a V, and it is too much wick showing. So all right. So you can see the incredible adjustability of my wick. If you flare it out into a V, it is going to make a tremendous amount of flame. It was not even an eighth of an inch above the height of the glass, but the fact that it was flared out into a full cone, kind of, what do we say, like that, a full cone inside of the glass, it was making a tremendous amount of evaporation in a very large flame with almost no wick showing. We currently have, I would say, no more than an eighth of an inch of wick above the flame, the height of the glass, and it's producing a very nice sized candle. So, I think we're about to wrap it up here. I just want to show to everybody that the properties of the flame produced by my candles is just fine. Got another 1-star. We'll have to send this link off to Peggy and ask her to change that review, because Peggy, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, that's how it goes. Life's rough. Oh well. So everybody have a beautiful day, and thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of my customers. I really enjoy doing this. I can't tell you how much joy it brings me. I know that sounds silly, but you know, my circumstances are a little bit rough, and it's very nice to be able to do this for everybody. So I really appreciate being able to sell everybody wick, and I sell made in the USA wick. Every bit of wick I sell is made in the USA. The glass holders are made in China because they have quite a bit of handwork to them. They are flared, and they have a little glass washer. Flared and have a little glass washer melted on. So the glass holders are made in China, but all of my wick is made in the USA, and I'm very proud of that. And I really thank all of my customers for supporting that, supporting made in the USA products. supporting quality products with very nice flame characteristics. So thank you very much to all my customers. I really appreciate this. I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say because I really enjoy doing this, and it's rewarding. It's simple, and I don't know. So thank you very much to all my customers. I really appreciate you all for sticking it with me, and because all the 1 stars I've had to close down some items and relist them, and you customers still come and find me, so I really appreciate that. So thank you very much to everybody, and my way of responding to 1-star reviews is to show everybody on live video how my product actually performs. We are simultaneously now running on Amazon live stream, and we're also doing a YouTube live stream. I'd like to do things now as much as possible live because I don't want to pull any punches. The one thing I forgot is I probably should have had a little timer going here. But beautiful flame characteristics. Let's blow this out and show you one last time. There's literally no wick showing, and it produces this incredible flame. So let's bring that over here. Oh. I don't want to tip it over, but I hope you can see that. There is basically not more than 1/8 of an inch of wick above the height of the glass holder. Let's go over to the YouTube live. Not more. Sorry, try to get that in focus. Is it having trouble focusing? Not more than 1/8 of an inch showing. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and light it up one last time, right? We can light it and relight it and blow it out and relight it and blow it out and relight it again, and we haven't had to trim it once yet. It hasn't melted at all, right? That was the other 1-stars, was it was melting. Oh, this is beautiful. That's what made in the USA quality looks like. You can blow it out, relight it, blow it out. I've been fiddling it with it for the last 45 minutes now. I've been shoving it in, pulling it back up, and shoving it back in, and we're still on the same piece of wick. So anyway, high quality stuff, incredible flame characteristics, and most importantly, made in the USA. So all of my wick is made in the USA, and I'm going to say in general, all of my holders are going to be made in China or some other foreign country because it's much more expensive to do that manufacturing. But textiles, fortunately, can still be made in the USA. So that is fantastic. So everybody have a beautiful day. Thank you very much. I do genuinely appreciate all my customers. Every time I get a 1-star review, I try to take it on its face as being true and 100% correct, and then do testing to see if there is any truth to the 1-star or not. Because in general, it's wick, it just works. Let's say that again, it's wick, it just works. Any brand is as good as any other. I really appreciate you buying from me, though. So thank you very much, everybody. We're going to end the stream right now. We'll leave the flame going, and I'll blow it out afterwards. So thank you very much to my real customers. Thank you for your support all these years. It's really incredible. It's been very positive. It allows me to show the kids. It's not a very big business, but it's got all the components of a real business, so I can show the kids all the little pieces of how a business runs, how you do taxes, how you put your books in, how you do demonstrations, and so it's very positive for the children as well. So I thank you very much, and everybody have a great day. Thank you.